Time for today's business. We've got bad news, we've got good news. The bad news is it's Owen's last ever business bulletin on France 24 to make him go red as he starts. The good news is if you're a techie, though, there's a new iPhone.
Out with the old me, in with the new Stuart.
Exactly.
Not that new, though, the new iPhone. We'll get into the details of that in just a moment. The market's a little bit muted on the release of this new gadget. Apple's German listing, we're seeing the stock up by around 1%, so fairly steady, but not a spectacular rise. The rest of the European market's a little bit flat at the open. Lots going on today. We've got a big merger on the cards, as Stuart mentioned just a moment ago, between EADS and British Aerospace. Both their shares down by more than 5% in early trading, but very volatile, so investors already giving their verdict on that. Those are the numbers on the European markets. On the Asian markets, the Nikkei had a reasonably good day's trade, closing around 0.5% up. Samsung, Apple's big rival in these gadget wars, also holding steady around 0.5% up, but a better day for suppliers of Apple who supply all the components, some of them enjoying gains of more than 5%.
Okay, well, very much of the early reaction to that latest Apple gadget has been a little bit less hyperbolic than usual, in fact. It's leaner and lighter, but the new iPhone builds on existing models rather than sporting a game-changing feature. But it probably won't matter. According to some estimates, Apple will sell more than 50 million new iPhones by Christmas.
iPhone 5. It is made entirely of glass and aluminum.
Apple says it's the best phone it's ever made. The new device features a larger screen, a more powerful chip, and faster internet connection. But while Apple is unveiling its brand new iPhone 5, competitors have beaten the California-based firm at its own game. Samsung has the lead in device sales, and Google's Android has become the world's most used mobile operating system.
It's the first launch after Steve Jobs, passed away. So compared to Samsung, for example, Samsung looked more advanced with a bigger screen, with a faster, mobile.
While competition is tough, the iPhone remains a cash cow, making half of the company's revenue and most of its profit.
The beauty about Apple is that they make very large profits, much larger profits than Samsung on their phones. But to be honest, I mean, the smartphone market is big enough to support both Apple and Samsung.
The coming weeks should tell whether the iPhone 5 will satisfy the world's geeks. But the American company is surely counting on those die-hard fans to make the iPhone a device unlike any other.
So you can see, Stuart, a little bit of scepticism. We were talking about the market numbers for companies like Apple just a moment ago, and a few analysts perhaps not quite wowed by this product. It's understandable. It's not really a revolutionary product for Apple. It sort of builds on the previous iPhone models that came before it. Doesn't really have a killer gadget, and some analysts are a little bit worried that Apple have overlooked or decided not to pursue the kind of technology that you can use for effectively using your mobile phone at the checkout rather than using cash or even cards. Some analysts think that's a mistake because that will be the next big jump in the evolution of mobile phones. And you have to remember, Samsung is no slouch either when it comes to selling smartphones. It's got the biggest share of the market. People tend to forget that when they talk about Apple, although it's true to say the iPhone is a high-end product, sells obviously by the millions and helps make Apple the world's most valuable company. We'll only really get an idea of this, of course, when we get fourth quarter sales figures out after Christmas in the new year to see whether people have really decided to fill up their Christmas stockings with these gadgets.
Okay, well, next we're going to Europe's Top Gun. British-owned BAE Systems is in merger talks with Airbus owner EADS. If the deal goes through, it'll create an industry giant worth at least 40 billion euros.
Taking the defence and aerospace industry to new heights. The merger of BAE Systems and EADS would be the biggest in the sector in more than a decade. Company bosses say talks are advanced between BAE, a UK firm and Europe's biggest defence contractor, and EADS, Europe's largest aerospace consortium. Their plan to create an industry giant. With combined sales of 70 billion euros, it'd be bigger than US rival Boeing and employ more than 200,000 people. Although the new company would have a sole management team, it would remain dual-listed, with EADS owning 60%, BAE 40%. The merger would consolidate to each company's strengths, matching BAE's key operations in the US and Saudi Arabia with EADS's operations in Europe and Asia. It's an important increase in market reach at a time when government defence budgets are being slashed. However, the merger is not a done deal. The US government, BAE's biggest defence customer, may seek safeguards that their military development isn't compromised. There's got to be approval too from competitions commissions and key shareholders like the French government before the merger gets off the ground.
Just worth noting, Stuart, already one or two sour grapes emerging from this potential merger with the government in Germany and Berlin, registering a little bit of distaste that it wasn't consulted about these discussions. Probably won't impact on the deal. It's really at the European level or the EU competition level that this deal could stall if those competition authorities feel that these two big companies between them would create an unfair environment for competitors.
OK, well, at that point, we've got some breaking business news coming into us here at France 24. I can show you now some markets which have been tumbling just in the last few seconds, in fact. You have a little look at this. We're not quite sure why this is, but we're also getting some live images coming out of some of the traders around the world who apparently are looking incredibly depressed. Quite sure why this is. Could this be anything to do with something happening at France 24, Mr. Owen Fairclough?
I feel this is called being hijacked on
It's called being hijacked on there. Yeah, I'm sure you were half expecting that you might be hijacked on there because it's Owen's last day at France 24 and we're all very sad and depressed. Tell us what you're off to do.
An MBA in sustainable development, looking into getting green fingers.
So we say it's your last day. Perhaps you can come in and be an expert once you've done the course.
We shall see. Well, it's been 4.5 years.
4.5 years, 2 years doing this.
A great pleasure, a lot of fun, a lot of stress as well, lots of last minute looking at numbers and so on. But
well, we're going to miss him, and we're going to just show you something to remind you of what you're going to be missing. And Owen's wonderful way with words. Have a look at this.
Yum brand, not a brand perhaps that you and I would know, but you'll probably know it better for its range of subsidiaries, the likes of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Chicken is flying out of their KFC stores.
If it's not flying out, it wouldn't be very well cooked,
Chicken
would it?
flying out. Burger Blaster. Now, the idea is to flip a burger onto the plate and build your own. Now,
Oh, look at that!
there you go.
How did you do that? You look ridiculous. Do you know that?
You look ridiculous.
Owen Fairclough for you, ladies and gentlemen of France 24. Owen, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. I think the viewers probably think that all I do is talk about chicken and burgers in business.
Well, it's true. When you're offset, you should hear him. That's all he talks about. Owen, you're a total pro. It's been wonderful working with you. From everyone on the team, from everyone in the gallery, from all the chef des, from everyone else who has had the privilege to work with you over the next few years. Good luck on your course, and maybe we'll see you back one day. You never know. Owen Fairclough on France 24. We'll miss him. That's the news from us. Latest coming up. Off to the break. Stay with us if you can.